Welcome back. I'm sorry about that. Internet is not the good time. Internet is the bad time. But welcome back. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We are continuing with the live stream. Please watch part 1 if you missed the first couple of songs. We are continuing with the rest of the songs. Let's go in. Now, we're going to get back to the Scarpy song. We're going to give him a redo since it dropped during his song. But you know what? That's cool because his song sounded off the chain. You guys are going to experience a good time. Let's go ahead and get this done. Doo -doo, doo -doo. Hey. Fuck the internet. Internet sucks. But I love the internet. No, internet sucks. But I love the internet. It has an Instagram. No, I hate the internet. Oh, Hey. That was Scarpy with his great submission called the Dizzy song. I'd Whip. Not sure what this is, but just a weird experimental track. Title on point, song on point. Very experimental. I really like the melodics in the drop. I really love the different rhythms and different flows. It sounds harmonically correct. Everything sounds in key, and I really appreciate that. The rhythms and the patterns are different, but it's not offbeat. Everything is flowing nice grooves, nice new grooves. The only main thing that needs to be fixed, I think, in this is the sub. The sub is almost non-existent, and I just really need a fat sub to go with all this. There's a sub. I know I can feel a little bit and hear it, but it's not the right sub. It needs to be, you need to make sure you have a clean sine wave, and you can layer that clean sine wave with a distorted layer as well. But yeah, just boost up a sine wave. Get a sine wave nice and hot, and make sure that that sine wave is going to be front and center in the mix, just like your bass lead. This is bass music, so make sure that sub is fat and pumping. Otherwise, after you do that, I think this song is going to be really nice. You should finish it, put it on your SoundCloud, add some vocals in the beginning, add some more energy, call it a day. Good job. Definitely loud enough, definitely wide enough. That's good. Good job, Scarpy. Good submission. Up next, let's go ahead and check out who we got going on over here. We have Jastro with the 11.922 Terra motherfucker 2. Let's get it. Uh-oh. Ring the alarm. Woo. Whoa. Let's run that back for the one time. Ooh. Hey, Jastro with the tear out. Oh, that was sick. Very nice to hear some nice heavy tear out. A lot of people shy away from tear out because it's very extreme. It's complex. It takes a long time. The mixing is very advanced. It's a lot easier to get muddy signals all conjumbled in your eardrums with tear out. But I must say, this is nice. I'm turning up my audio interface very loud. It sounds clean, nice gain. We're at -4 lufs during the drop, so it's really loud. And the guns sound nice. They do sound a little bit far behind in the mix. You could bring them out a little bit more, but it does sound good. Everything sounds heavy. There's a lot of energy. You could probably play this out and it'd sound nice. It's wide enough as well. This is a great foundation. Work on your intros. Make sure you can build up some nice energy for this heavy drop and then finish it out. Hopefully you're not getting stuck in just making drops. If you are, start focusing on your intros, build-ups, breakdowns, and start matching all that with your drop, and you'll be an all-around boss. But this is good. Call and response. And I like the second section where that pan snare comes in. The drums are nice and tight. So sick. Yeah, Jastro with some heat. That's what I'm talking about. Up next, we got Lost by J-Wubs. Let's get down with the get down. That was Lost by J-Wubs. Not too shabby. There's a lot that needs to be done in this, I think. This is a nice hybrid trap submission. I respect the hybrid trap, but there are some issues here. One of the main issues is basically as soon as we're done building, we go into this, which is technically where the drop's supposed to be, but it's more just like a breakbeat. It's just the drums playing with the synth, no sub. You built tension, and we need to release the tension. There needs to be like a climax here, almost. The sub is going to be the most powerful frequency in your mix. So that means the sub needs to be making an appearance right at the drop. If you are trying to go for a fake out, you know, which we do all the time, we build it up, then fake out. So if that's what you're trying to do, this is just too long of a fake out. It needs to be basically half. And with fake outs like this, you want to make sure there's like, it's building up, right? So there could be like a white noise riser in this section building right before the drop, or a reverb swell that swells up to add tension right before the drop. So technically like this part could be like over here, right? But during the drop, there are some issues with the main lead synth, right? It's playing out the whole drop. It starts to get really boring. One of the main reasons it gets boring is because there's not a lot of movement going on. There's not a lot of pitch changes. There's not a lot of variation going on with that main lead. So two things. I would start to add pitch bend, slight pitch bend with the main lead in different cool sections just to add cool feeling, and use this as one of the sounds. So add another sound and start doing call and response with two different sounds. If you feel up to it, start adding more and more sounds and then start to balance it out. You could have a lot more sounds going on. And remember, when you're making sounds, think of filling out the frequency ranges. This is a high frequency sound, so it'd be nice to start adding some mid-range sounds as well, just so that you can have both playing at the same time. That will make the drop sound full. I recommend you do that. Otherwise, you have a good foundation, nice drums, you know, song arrangement. With the intro, break and build, you just need to get the drop right, and I think you'll be good to go. But good submission. Very nice. Get a little bit louder too. We're at like -7. Get a little bit louder. It'll be good. Up next, we got the homie, which is Grim. He submitted Hold Back Original Mix. Let's go ahead and get that. Very nice. Yeah, that was sick. Good job, Grim. Old Beck. That's what I'm talking about. Lots of good things I heard in this. Start with the goods. Amazing. Just amazing song arrangement, tension, energy. If we were to DJ this song and mix it, there's distinct sections and it's very clean, very nice. Everything is very loud at -3 lefts. We also had it wide enough, and that's perfect. Mix sounded very good. Drums were nice. One of the main things I loved was the second drop. The call and response you have here is good. The only problem I heard really was that some of the basses were too loud. Like there's a neuro bass that plays in like a 2 or 4 bar section here, and you can hear that it's much louder than all the other bass leads and stuff playing. So make sure that you balance out all the basses and make sure that a fill bass is not louder than your main bass lead. And in the first drop, it's just good, but there's a lot of different rhythms playing, like a lot of different bass rhythms playing at the same time, and it's starting to sound crowded because of it. There's like all kinds of different things going on. Just try to balance it a little more so that the basses don't sound like they're clashing into each other. That's it. This right here, though, you did this. You should have just dropped it right there. You basically like do it again right here when you already did it, and it doesn't sound 100% natural. Well, you could just go straight into that. But if you hear, there's a lot of different background basses playing, like at different speeds, and that's not happening in the second drop. So I would just try to match the first drop's energy to the second drop, and then you can make the second drop even crazier if you want to. But yeah, this is very good. Good foundation. Amazing. You're about to go super hard when you're playing these at the club. I can see you working over there, Grim. So keep on pushing. You're sounding fire. Oh yeah, and by the way, the middle build, super sick. Loved it. Good, good. Up next, we got Arlex with the submission of torture. Arlex torture. Let's get it.
Concrete ball torture from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Concrete ball torture, penis torture, or dick torture is a sexual activity involving application of pain or constriction to the penis or testicles. This may involve directly painful activities such as genital piercing, wax play, genital spanking, squeezing, ball busting, genital flogging, urethral play, tickle torture, erotic electrostimulation. Concrete ball torture from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Concrete ball torture, penis torture, or dick torture is a sexual activity involving application of pain or constriction to the penis or testicles. This may involve directly painful activities such as genital piercing, butt play, genital spanking, squeezing, ball busting, genital flogging, urethral play, tickle torture, and molecular stimulation.
Yo, that was our licks with torture. Bruh, that was sick, man. I wasn't expecting all that, really. Oh, I was listening to the intro. I'm like, okay, cool song, really. Starts building up. During the build up of the first drop, I have to say it could be a little bit better. You know, the pitch, like the pitch rise feels weird. The drum, it just doesn't feel like you're really building enough tension. But this is a rhythm song, so you don't technically have to build as much tension. You're using a really cool technique of like having the drop come in a funky way, so I respect that. The second drop flows a lot better from build to drop, so I would kind of use those techniques in the first drop. But man, this is cool. Really sick variations during the drop. Really nice rhythm tune. You work that stereo image really well. There's a lot of wide basses, mid basses, and they all are balanced together. There's a lot of balance in this. It's loud enough and wide enough. It's mixed well. This is awesome. I'm happy to hear something like this. It makes me love rhythm even more. New sounds I haven't heard before. That is so dope. Play that at the show. Arlix Torture. Good job. Up next, we got the Mipsy. We got the Rhythm Detox. Let's fucking get it.
Hello, Daddy.
Oh.
Blessing and glory and all of your power. We give you.
What is going on?
At 7 a.m., unless a miracle occurs, that gallows will be used to separate the soul of her wounds from his body.
Jesus is.
Oh, not a chance, fella.
You let everybody believe you're dead!
Hold on.
You let everybody believe you're dead!
Woke up and chose some violence.
Hello, Daddy.
Where am I?
And so, into this little tortured mind came the idea that that gun had been produced for use.
Jesus is.
Outro vibes. Silence vibes. Oh, Mipsy coming in hot with the Rhythm Detox. And I'm happy to hear something so unique, so crazy, giving me some nostalgia with that Pornhub sample. Really nice. You just take us on so many different journeys before we even start building. It's well respected. It's also not easy to do this. You know, you make random things flow and balance together, so it's good. I recommend a lot of people just start getting super creative and doing things like this so that people get interested, get surprised. It's going to help. It's going to help a lot. We live in a time where people are making so much songs that sound the same, so stand out. D-Rhythm Drop.
And at 7 a.m. from his
I really like how you have different basses coming in. You're kind of just like pushing them to the front, like aggressively throwing them in, and it works and it flows. One of the main issues that I saw in the first drop, though, is like it's a little bit too muddy with this. So just start cleaning up, you know, the 100 to 400 hertz range. Make some dips. Start cleaning up the mud. Make sure you take out any resonant frequencies as well with the EQ, just so you can start cleaning this up. The other basses sound well mixed and nice, but that main bass at the beginning is weird. The breakdown, also the way you flow from the drop to this works, but then when the Pornhub sample comes back in, the energy starts to die down significantly. I would try to rework this to keep the energy flowing into the next drop. It works at the beginning, but I just don't recommend it so much at the breakdown in the middle. Otherwise, Mipsy, I like this. You got it loud enough, wide enough. It's heavy, it's hard, it's unique, it's artistic. That's what I'm talking about. Killing the game. Up next, we got Frankie Fettuccine, aka Odd Cobra. Everybody Killed Them, featuring Ow X. Let's go ahead and get that right now.
Well, it looks like you've lost. Remember how in the beginning, when we first met, I told you that I'd be the one writing your name in my notebook? It's part of the agreement between the sheep family who brings the notebook to the human world, and the first human who picks it up.
Man down, with another motherfucker gonna get written down. I don't know how I'm unaffected. This suspense is killing me, bitch. Don't say my name aloud and no one I'm proud. So when I say go get the fuck out, told you need a face and set face was I was staying to get away. So one shot is all it takes to kill everybody else for the place. It's insane with my band, don't pretend when I say the games begin. You and
Frankie.
so I'll get away until you wing in a place that's so inane and great. If you late,
Fetty.
everybody knows what you've done. In the end, you haven't won. Gonna know. There's nowhere left to go. Everybody's coming after you. Check.
Hey.
each other's boredom for quite a while.
Damn, bro, that shit was fucking hard, man. That's what I like to hear. Dude. Okay. First off, let me just tell you what you did wrong. These vocals are so wrong. Bro, like, I'm really surprised you can't hear him rapping, like, off time. He's not rapping on time. As a rapper, as a vocalist, one of the first things you learn and one of the most important things you have to get down consistently is rapping on beat and flowing on time and being able to adapt to slower BPMs and faster BPMs. Like, it's really important. He's not doing that. You should work with only vocalists that are able to do that. And you should also work with vocalists that are able to sing in key. You don't technically have to sing in key all the time, but you have to sound good. And timing is important when it comes to vocals. I like the idea. I like the energy. I like that you're trying to bring in some pop punk, heavy metal type vocals in here. I think that's sick energy. He just didn't deliver as he should have. It would sound better without the vocals. During the drop, it's really sick, man. The choir playing with the heavy basses, it's such a good contrast. It's mixed well. And dude, this, when it says your tag that says Cobra right here is so hard. Yeah, and the sustain that's playing super heavy. When you go from no sustain to the sustain, it's just, God, the energy's so high. Very good. Very, very, very good. This is the type of stuff I'm trying to do. So I appreciate hearing that, seeing that. It's really good, man. I would just fix those vocals, and I think you got a banger on your hands. The second drop does not sound like the first drop in terms of energy and heaviness. Like in that section I'm talking about where you say, oh, Cobra, it doesn't even sound the same, like sound as heavy, that transition. So I'd work on that, try to make it as heavy as the first drop or heavier than the first drop. Then you'll be good to go, bro. I like it. That was at Cobra with Everybody Kill Them. Up next, we got the ID by Smiley. Smiley's ID. Let's go. Hey, that's Smiley's with the ID. We got some tear out tings right now today. All right. There's a couple of issues here. But when you start the song, everything's sounding really good. You start building it up, everything's sounding nice. Pre-drop fire. When we get to the drop, you deliver with some good energy. But the sub really just isn't fat enough. It's not there. It's not attacking my chest like it should be. It kind of sounds like you're just using the sub from the original bass patch which you really shouldn't do. You should have a separate sub. And it's okay to have the subs play with the original patch. Just cut them. That'll give us nice mid-lows. And then we'll add a separate sub that is not just a regular sine wave, but a really loud, beefed up sine wave so that it can be prominent in the mix with your tear out guns. The tear out guns were showing that they're wide, but they don't really sound wide. They kind of sound like over compressed and thin, and they don't sound up front and center in the mix. So I would really start to look at your tear out guns at each individual track. Make sure that you're only using a little bit of compression for each one, and start parallel processing everything so that you can get it wide and clean at the same time and you don't lose any signal. Remember, keep a mono signal while introducing a wide signal so you can have both layers to attack the eardrums with glory. This is good, man. You're getting better. I like the sound design. You got your timing right. The call and response could get a little bit better. The main tear out gun is being played throughout this whole thing, so start introducing different variations of that tear out gun, different tones and different pitches to start giving in the listener some ear candy. Otherwise, good job, dude. I'm talking about solid submission. Up next, we got Run Motherfucker by Obelisk. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's get it. Let's get what to get down. That is Run Motherfucker by Obelisk. Decent, I must say. Decent. Not too shabby. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with this, but you have a great foundation. You know, you have some good sound design. There's some sounds that are definitely heavy. You could get them louder. The main thing you need to work on really is call and response. Good old callie, good old responsey. What do I mean, you may ask? Well, when we play this, first off, when the drop comes, you can see we're just kind of going from like white noise swell to drop. Not really any build up drums. Tension really isn't building, right? It's just noise slowly pitching up, which isn't giving the effect that we need in dance music, right? We need extreme tension and then big release at the drop, which you have potential of delivering, right? You have sound design that's here. You have nice fat sounds, but the way they're arranged and layered isn't giving the highest energy. You want to work on call and response and have your sounds talk to one another rather than just all play at the same time. It's good to layer basses, but you also need them to talk to each other too. So you hear it goes boom, 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 and then so basically you're just throwing in basses at random timings and it's happening too fast. So if we're going call and then response and then you go straight into this is happening too fast. It's like we're trying to dance, right? And all of a sudden, and then it's just going in weird directions. It needs to be balanced. It needs to have flow. Look at reference tracks. Bring in a touring artist song. See how they, arrange their fills, arrange the drop, all their phrases. That's going to help you fix these issues that are very important that you fix. Because you want to keep the highest energy possible. After you do that, I think that you'll be able to make huge progress in the song and really focus on dynamics next. So you'll see the sound just playing over and over. You really need some like silence, sections of silence, and then you can add like a random vocal or a random fill. But going from really loud to silent, then back to loud is that psychedelic effect and technique that you want to keep doing throughout the drop. That is going to make things sound so much better. I recommend everyone do that and practice doing that over and over and over again. Dynamics is key. Dynamics is what makes everything sound good. But good job. Good job. Solid submission. Not too shabby, I must say. Up next, we got the homegirl, Bree. This is the Mosh Queen. She went ahead and submitted final 8. Not 7. Definitely not 6, but we got number 8. Let's go. Let's get it. Run that. And that was the Mosh Queen with Final Cha numero 8. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Hey, we got a heavy drop here. We got a nice fat sub playing with a good bass. I like the bass that you chose here. The bass, the main bass is playing, it's like the same bass playing through all drops. So you definitely want to start adding some variation to that bass. Keep the same bass, but duplicate it. Add a different filter, maybe change the FM from B knob or the sync knob, change the tone so we can introduce the same bass, but like playing a little bit different in different sections. During the drop, this is good, but in this section, so we have the drop, pre-drop boom. Everything's good right here. We had this cool little fill. But on this, we can start introducing a new layer to start bringing the mix forward and keep the tension going, right? And sustain, just a sustain bass, right? In the back layer, like a ding. Sustain in the back, playing during this section. That will be super high energy. The sustain drops, and then this sounds open again. That will help a lot, adding a sustain during that section. Play with that. And then when the drop's playing, we hear that main bass. But in this section, this is where you really want to start introducing a new bass, a different bass, a bass that has a different tone. Or you can start layering that bass with another bass so you can add new call and response. Just do something different in this section. And then you can go back to the original, and that'll be really good. You have a good foundation here. Drums are good, subs nice, bass is nice. You just need to start adding more variation and new basses so that the listener doesn't get bored at the drop. Also work on your reverb swells. You can swell and add more movement using swells during the drop. That'll be dope. But listen here. Yeah, so in here, like during this section, you can have a new bass coming, maybe like a lower tone, like roar, instead of rah. And yeah, that'll be sick. This is good. Good job, Bree. That's what I like to hear today. Up next, we got Macro with the Smasher in 140 F minor WIP. Let's go. Sick. Oh, that was clean. A Macro coming in hot with Smasher. This is good. One of the best things I've heard from you yet. I'm loving your song arrangement. First off, is on point. Your energy's on point from intro to build up to drop. That's really important. Keeping the energy, keeping good vibes the whole way through. The mix sounds really nice and clean. It's loud enough and wide enough. We're at -4. -4 left is really nice. -5 lufs is also really nice. That's really like the minimum I would take it is like -5. But the thing that I really love the most is the variations and the different changes in bass rhythms throughout each phrase. Give me the magic chord. So we start with that rhythm. With this rhythm. So we're adding new tones, new rhythms, new patterns, and it just is a whole journey throughout the way through. We don't really hear necessarily the same thing over and over again. It's moving back and forth with call and response leading the way. This is important, and I think you did it really well here. I like this. The only thing I think may need to be upgraded is the sub. It doesn't really sound too fat. If you've already done a car test, like in the car, and it sounds fat and it sounds clean, no need to change it. But if you haven't done a car test, make sure you do the car test. Make sure it's loud enough when comparing it to another song that's finished, like a Skrill song or whatever. See what's good, but everything should be good. Sounds good, sounds balanced. Make sure your sub is popping, and I think you should finish this track as soon as possible. Upload it. Call it a day. I like the name Smasher, though. That's just hard. Good job. Give it up. Macro, Smasher. Very little feedback. Amazing. Up next, we got the Particle 5. Particle 5, that's going to be from Exotic. Let's get it. Cool. Dope. Good idea. Particle 5. I'm liking it. There's a lot of things I like in here. A lot of things I do not like in here. A lot of things that need to be fixed as well. But I'm really liking the vibes. You know, you're adding some new sounds, new different vibes that a lot of people don't really feel or hear. You added some house towards the end, which I thought was kind of weird. But the main issue here is the sound. There's like a sound just going like panning. It's like all bubbly, all fast. Sounds very messy. It sounds like too much is going on. In the second drop, you contain the sound a lot better. It's contained and balanced more in that compared to like if you EQ'd it or turned it down or did something to like bring it less, because it's front and center right now. Just take it back, bring it back in the mix, and let the other things shine, and they'll make a huge difference. If you look here too, like let's play this. Look at our imager. By default, listening to this song, it sounds like it should be a very wide song that's aggressively taking up the stereo image. But if you see here, we're really just living into more of a mono. So much information could be filled here. You need to do that with this type of song. Do parallel processing. Keep your mono signal. Introduce the same signal, but make that signal wide. Start filling out these frequency. Start filling out the stereo field from the left and the right, and start EQing the frequencies as needed to start cleaning things up. That's going to help a lot. The vibes though are cool. I like it's unique. Just make sure that your drop isn't too muffled and gargled. Make sure that it has space. Everything can breathe and it has its own place. That's going to significantly improve the song. Do it as soon as you can. Up next, we got a new one. Who do we got today? We got Nemesis with Rasta. Interesting. Very weird outro. Now, let's see. This is pretty cool. Sound design's sick. But we're too mono and we're not loud enough. We're only pushing like -7 lefts here. We should at least be pushing like -5 for this rhythm. Got to get it louder. If you were to DJ this song next to other songs, this would sound significantly lower in volume. That's a problem that needs to be resolved. And it can be resolved with compression. I recommend multi-band compression and parallel processing. That can make things loud and clean quickly and easily. Do that with your basses, or do it to the group of the basses, or do it to the master. You choose what you want to do. See what sounds best. Also, let's listen here. So this is a good section with more dynamics. Definitely start using dynamics more. You can see here lots of use of dynamics. This is what's really giving a lot of movement and making it sound fat. Sub's nice and fat. I would just work on the mix down. You know, get this louder, get this clean, start making things wide. As you see, we're in the middle here, so start adding wide sound, just like I was mentioning on the previous song. Parallel process that boy and get it right. That's going to help a lot. It'll sound full and it'll be ready to go after that. Good job. Good submission. That was Nemesis. Up next, we got Helosphere. Burn It Down. Let's go. Yeah. Shit. What? That is some heat. Let's go. Ooh. What? Damn, Helosphere coming in hot with Burn It Down. I wasn't ready for that, honestly. To be honest, this is one of my favorite tracks of the night right here. Very heavy, tear out, song arrangement so sick. I heard so many new sounds I've never heard before. Dude, the sustain, you're like change, like the sustain plays one note. Then it stops, and then all of a sudden it goes again at a different note, and it's like rising in with the scale while rising in pitch. It's just fucking sick. That's what's hard. Right here. Super unique, super cool. Bro, I'm loving it, man. We're loud enough. We're wide enough. This here we're pulling -5. This is really the quietest I would be on a song like this. To me, this is acceptable. Technically, you could push it maybe 1 or 2 more loves and that'd be fine, but it's not necessarily 100% needed. This is sick. Lots of variation, man. There's not much to say on what to do better in this because everything sounds good to me. The mix in the drop. If you guys hear, the melodics in the choir is really helping this song sound full and make sense. The journey is progressing really well because of those melodics. So I would take notes from that, start doing that. It's awesome. But dude, good job, Helos Fair. That's what I'm talking about, man. Sick. Up next, we got the Ruby Hates Gloom. Ruby Hates Gloom is submitting this drop is shit. Everything is shit. GG. Easy. This is sounding like some slam poetry. Ruby Hates Gloom. Let's don't go and get it. Dance. Ooh, dance. I got the dance. You have the ants. No, fuck off. Whoa. Sick, dog. All right, from this intro, you'll never know what's about to happen. And I wasn't even expecting such a seamless transition from like a 128 4 to the floor to, you know, our good old rhythm. Very nice. See that transition? Very clean. Such a sick and heavy fake out. You guys can see here, look at this silence at the end. This is dynamics. Sub, boom, very stompy feel. And if you can hear, all of our frequency ranges are balanced very nicely. It's very loud. We have our lows, mids, highs. It is just clean, man. Amazing call and response. Very good mix down. Ruby, you are getting cracked. And I'm loving it. I have nothing, like, no feedback to give on this other than finish it. And send it to me and add some vocals in this section so that we can add more dancey. I want to have more dancey in this section. Add vocals here. I like this, Ruby. Good job. Ruby's always in the Discord teaching people. So if you guys ever want to learn from her, she's dope. She goes off the chain. Good job, Ruby. This drop is shit. Everything is shit. GGEZ. Getting a very high score from Drip Von D. Next, Terminal Malfunction. version 1, not 2.1, WIP. And this is from The Monarch. Let's go.
Hello. My name is Monarch, and I designed to help you.
System malfunction.
Caution. System failure.
Terminal malfunction.
You ready?
And that is Terminal Malfunctioned version 1 WIP by Monarch. He said that shit is very loud. That shit is loud at -3 lufs. It is loud. I must say it's not ear piercing loud. I didn't feel that. There's really... Sorry, but there's a lot of issues in this song. Sound design's not that bad, right? But timing and song arrangement and the way that you're switching between BPMs is just not... It's just not... it's not what we're looking for, Chief. You know what I'm saying? This is electronic dance music. You want to keep dancing. If you're switching the BPMs and not compensating, it's going to be an issue. So like when it starts to slow down, the leads kind of stay fast like at the beginning. Then everything just starts to get off time. Like this isn't on time. This is also happening right here. In the build-up. It's just a mess, you know, like we can't bob our head to this because there's two different rhythms literally playing at the same time. You have some cool basses here, but there's no sub. I filled no bass. This is bass music, so having a song that has no bass is very, very bad. Got to fix that right away. Make sure you separate a sine wave and have it playing either with these basses, or you could do like a sick quarter note chug, and that'll be a nice sub for you. But we have to fill those frequencies during this section. This is the climax of the song. This should be the hardest section. But we're losing energy because we don't have the sub. So make sure you fix that. Check your octaves and make sure everything's right. Get your timing right. Please don't do BPM switches randomly. You have to strategically do BPM switches if you do that. Timing is important. We are DJs. We got to make sure people keep dancing and don't stop dancing. Don't stop dancing and don't stop dancing. Oh, oh, oh. Up next, we got Moment and we got Decimate. Let's go ahead and go and get that.
Launch sequence activated.
Alternate universe located.
Initiating system protocol. Danger is imminent. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Self-destruct sequence initiated. System failure.
Stabilizing.
Life systems operational.
Self-destruct sequence initiated. Self-destruct sequence initiated.
All systems down. Abort.
System stable.
That's cool. You use those vocals really nice. Those are the eliminate vocals from Splice, and the way you arranged them and layered them, it like made sense. It sounded correct. I really would add like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or a 3, 2, 1 right before the drop in the first. It's like begging for it with the samples that you chose.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
3, 2, 1.
System failure.
I don't know. Put some numbers right there. Make it on time. It'll sound sick. And
Failure.
Go. The only thing, like you're playing tear out, right? But the 3 is just a clap, like a really simple thing to clap. And that clap is just kind of hidden in the mix. Layer that clap with a pan snare. We need pan snare for tear out. I definitely recommend you add pan snare or just layer up some snares with high frequencies, add tonal, get a nice snare to go with this because that clap just isn't fat enough. But it's a good placeholder. All these are good. I really like the breakdowns to build up, to drop. Really good use of like vocals and just cinematics. I really like that. Your mix sounds good, Moment. Happy to hear this is the stuff you're making, honestly. During this section, though, second drop of the Sussy starts to get muddy, starts to get kind of noisy and all over the place. So just make sure you EQ everything, make sure everything has its own space to live. Think of the stereo image, what's wide, what's mono, and start moving things as needed so that you can fill out the space properly. Otherwise, I think this is pretty good. Just do that, and it's going to sound even better. It was wide enough and loud enough, so that's good. Good job, Moment. Up next, we got Sabertooth. My dog, Sabertooth. And we got Repent, Work in Progress. Let's get that.
For your Damn, son. Saber. Just so you guys know, Saber is the guy who recommended I started these live streams in the first place. He is an OG. And his music has been improving so much ever since these streams have started that we literally have something like this. Mix down's clean, very loud, very wide. This is nice. This section I think is weird. I think it needs to be fixed. Or just build up. Yeah, just build up this to this. That's just kind of weird, kind of
like you're building the energy, then all of a sudden the energy like gets idle right here. Then we start bringing it back. This section is cool, but it really does not sound as hard as these upcoming sections. I would try to add some new rhythms at the beginning just to make it a little less. It's not boring, but it's just this rhythms and stuff that we hear all the time. So I'll try to add just a little bit of spunk and spice in between these a little bit so you can start to kind of tease this phrase in here. And I think that'll help a lot with the transition from the drop. I do really like this section. Super low mid-rangey basses, lots of different basses, good variation, and everything sounds balanced. So I really like that. And this breakdown with these sick melodies is just so cool. Love that. There's a lot of sidechain going on with this kick. You may want to dial that down a little bit, but that's up to you. Maybe do some cool filters right here, just to like remove some frequencies. Because the thing about all the frequencies are playing right here, and right here. But if you filtered out this little section a little bit, took out some frequencies, and then boom, threw them back in right here, that will bring a lot more energy in that second section, in that second drop. So I'll do that. But Saber, good job, brother. Your stuff sounded good. That's what I like to see. Today, we have the final submission, Invasion by Interface. Let's go ahead and get down. And that was Invasion by Interface, the last submission. Thank you for submitting. This song, to be honest, needs a lot of work. Unfortunately, the sounds and presets that you're using sound very presetty. It kind of sounds like you're literally loading presets, different presets, right? Lots of different ones, and just having to play in different sections. Because of this, it doesn't sound like the basses and the drop flow with one another. They sound very different from one another, and that makes it sound weird. there's not significant call and response happening during the drop. So because of that, it just really sounds like noisy basses being played in randomness. Work on call and response. Work on getting these basses unique and fat. You can take a preset like this, add a loud rack, start adding filters and changing the tones to create a new bass that's yours and unique. Do that. And once you have a bass, you can duplicate that, slightly change it a little bit, and then you start using those basses instead of having different basses play right next to each other. And also focus on your timing. So like when you're building things up, you got to make sure that your timing's perfect. So as you can hear, just the risers is going, the drums like stop here. You need to make sure all your timing's perfect. Bring in a reference track from a touring artist. Look at how they line up and set up their build-ups, drops, their pre-drops, and copy the timing. You're not copying the song. You're just copying how they literally arrange and structure the timing of their song. So do that. It'll help you a lot. It'll get you to the next level and have you sound professional. But really, that's it. Thank you guys so much for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my channel with all your friends. Let's get this popping. We're going to keep learning, keep making bangers, and we're going to change the music scene together. Let's push the limits of sound and go hard. See you guys in my Discord. I'll see you guys later. Hit me up if you need anything. Thank you for being awesome. Have a good night. Stay fresh. And peace out. Later.